Welcome back to Jtwes. Thank you, everybody. It's another video, and we're back filming and going again. Enjoying it. I'm glad to be back. We're planting some potatoes and broccoli today, so come along with us. I mentioned on the live the other night a couple things. I'm gonna show a bunch of fellows on the live yesterday was saying that, you know, they wish they could have gotten the field. It's a little wet. And I'm wet too in flat grounds, but over here where I bed it, 2 rows for potatoes, it's crusted on top. The centers where the tractor tire goes is a little, I don't know, it's a little wet. So we were talking about it was a little too wet in the centers where the tractor tire runs. So this year having the Sammy Super A here is really going to help out where I can leave some stuff on the 140 and leave some stuff on the Super A, and it's really going to help out about not having to, you know, take the 140 and switch it over to making rows or cultivating mode, and then back from cultivating mode to chisel plowing when you're still doing some planting and still doing some disking. I'll be able to concentrate on disking and stuff with this tractor and leave it. So I mounted the scrape blade on here yesterday, and guys, it's just a blade with 2 feet mounted to the arms here. You know, it's just got a bolt in it here. You could probably use a 2x6 if you had one, you know, a 2x6 board, and just drill a hole in the board. It's just something to knock off the top of the row. Speaking of knock off the row, I used to do that religiously, and I kind of caught myself, and I don't mind doing it, I caught myself showing you guys, you know, planting it flat or planting it where I run the middle buster through. Last year we planted some corn like that. Just showing you some different ways that I have seen things planted around here. But this year, I'm being a little more serious with the corn and stuff. I will run that blade on everything. I will bed everything, Lord willing, and I get a chance to get in it or something, you know, outside of my intentions. Let's say it that way. My intentions is to bed everything, and we'll run this scrape blade through it and plant it. Whether it be the corn planter behind the tractor with the scrape blade on it, it gives me an even fur all the way across. There's no dips, there's no nothing. You know, I would plant stuff flat sometimes if I had one of those little drag hairs or something to go behind the tractor, but I don't. So you do with what you got. And for me, putting it in a bed, number one, it dries out. Number two, if I get it bedded up and a week goes by, I don't have to recut it to plant it. I can just knock that bed down and plant it right then and there. I've done that several times. So just like today, we're going to go around here and I'm going to knock the top off of it, and we're going to plant some potatoes and broccoli, where right now, after this rain we had the last couple of days, I would have to say, okay, I need to cut it, and you know, it's got to air out some, dry up some. I need to disc it, and I need to lay off some rows. And you know, you're talking 2 or 3 day thing to get the land in some decent order to be able to plant. But I'll be able to, you know, Lord willing, plant today. Now there may be some sticky spots. That's why I'm not running the back feet on this tractor today. I'm gonna leave the chisel plow on it, and just whatever tire marks is left in the fur, that'll be like that. We're not worried about it. But that's the reason why I'm not. It's just gonna be tires, and that'll mitigate how much it stirs that up, just the tires going across it. But with that said, let's get out here and plant some, and we'll peg, probably we won't run the planter through anything today, but we'll plant it old school way. The best planter ever invented, right there. So we'll plant the potatoes with that, and we may plant this pretty broccoli. It's a big broccoli. It's got a big giant root ball on it, so I may actually plant that broccoli with a hoe also instead of this peg, because this peg, I can only get a hole to waller out about that big. So we may end up planting that with this, because I like leaving the root ball on it. I don't like taking the root ball if I don't have to off. But we'll get all that planted, so let's head out here. Guys, the onions are starting to come out a little bit. There's one there, and there's another one, there's another one. So, you know, I guess planting them in the fall gave them a little bit of head start, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man, they got to looking a little, they got to looking a little rough at one time. Sammy, I got volume? Yes?
Yes.
They got to looking a little rough, but here's the plan on the potatoes. So I'm gonna go ahead, and here's the thing, it's always kind of a little bit tricky, is making sure you stay in the center of the row. And oh, I know, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. I did notice, it seemed like my 140 was just a tick wider than the Super A. I noticed it on this row coming back that my tire was a little bit past where that back foot on that Super A ran. We'll pull a measurement on it and see if there is a big difference on it. Hopefully it's not, but I wouldn't think it would be. I haven't measured it to see, so we'll probably need to do that. But let's get to planting these potatoes. My idea was just to come in here in the center of the row and get me a little spot pulled out. We'll put the potato there and we'll drop it in there and then come back. And it's got plenty of moisture in it, guys. I was able to cheat the system. I was able to cheat the system today with the wet weather, and you can see it you know, it worked up pretty good, but it's still kind of wet in there. But having it in a row like I did, I was able to cheat a little bit and able to plant them today. I hope everybody's been able to plant something and get in the gardens. I know everybody looks forward to that. I know I do too. What I was going to tell y'all, had a farmer guy tell me, and I'm sure he's done it, and I'm sure it's worked out good for him. He said he planted his potatoes, laid it off with the center bar, planted the potatoes, covered them up, and when they all sprouted about this high, he come back with the disc and covered them again, covered the sprouts up, and made those sprouts come through what he just covered up. And he said it just always made more potatoes like that. He got me thinking, we might have to try that, guys. Y'all let me know what you think. All right, guys, let's stop right there and put a few in the hole. Most of these I plan on cutting in half. Sammy, it's about time we use your knife or something. Let me have your knife. If this thing don't cut this potato, boy, barely. It definitely it ain't overly sharp, is it?
No. I've been putting off sharpening it.
That one's got a eye. We'll go so on and so forth, guys, until we get to the other end to see what we got. What I bought was, I think, 15 pounds with the idea of cutting every one of them in half. Some of my halves don't have eyes that I can see, like that one, but rest assured I think it will come on up. Even this smaller one's got two decent ones right there, two decent ones right here. This big one's got two decent ones. We're going to try to build a lot of dirt around them this year. Just keep building dirt with the disc, and hopefully that will produce a lot of potatoes. She's wet right there, guys. Some water come up. Yeah, it should go down in the next day or so. It's a pretty good slope right here. These potatoes are called golden something. That'll help y'all out. So yeah, he was planting golden something. I don't remember. Lino likes russets, but I don't ever see russet seed potatoes hardly. And I actually like a golden potato. I think, to me, russets are kind of bitter. All right, let's cover up what we got. We don't want to cover them too much and not too little. Something about like that. Like that. A good soft dirt on top of it. Not packed in at all. There's the one that's a little wet. Let's put a little bit of this fresher dirt on that one, and we'll push that wet dirt aside. Here's another one. We'll put some of that and push that aside. Get some of that. I think I'm definitely getting them in the ground at a good time, but that's not to say that they won't get bit. With a little bit of frost, they may. I've had them do it before. Okay, so that's a half a roll, so we can do the other half. A little bit more. How many feet do you reckon this is, Sammy? Guys, this is a good, I don't know, 100 feet or better, probably a little more than that. I always get a comment, guys, when I plant potatoes. Something about curing them, like letting that dry out. I don't know. I just never have. And you know, I'm sure if you'll follow the channel along, you'll see that they'll come up and they'll do pretty good. I just never had no problems with them, thank the Lord. I'm not bragging or anything, I'm just saying I've never had to worry about that. Yeah, we'll have it, Sammy. Be enough. Matter of fact, we can tighten up on them a little bit. I just realized that my mic has probably got some heavy breathing on it. Or two more. Throw some dirt on this side of it.
Mud again. Thought I was gonna get a break from mud.
That'll work. Some big plants.
Seen you bury the tag.
That's 12 down, 24 more to go. I like this because some of them have a bent leg at the very bottom on the root, and I'm able to put it in the ground, straighten it up, and let her start growing straight. Only thing we can hope is that the deer don't come taste it. They did eat a few last year, and then I guess they decided they didn't like them, and I'm hoping they'll leave them alone. Haven't got the electric fence up yet. Wasn't planning on doing it until green beans and or sweet potatoes, but we'll see. That leaves us a row for tomatoes, green beans, and maybe 2 rolls for sweet potatoes. I gotta have about a half a roll for some squash and some cucumbers, so I gotta squeeze that in there somewhere too. Just not raising anything extra this year, just actually what we use. And next year, if I need to make it a little bigger, I can move the garden up the hill just a little bit more, and I can go that way about 2 or 3 more rounds. So if we need to make it bigger, we can. All right, all my eagle eye folks, what's wrong with this one? It don't have a bud in it.
That's what I was saying, it only has just 2 leaves.
We'll plant it. It might run a sucker up and have a little bit on a sucker, so we'll see. These things are some kind of brittle. If the deer eat any broccoli, I can promise you it won't be that one. If they eat any, it will not be that one. Woo! Tender back. Okay, about 10 more and we're done planting broccoli. Run them rolling cultivators through there. We may even run a little disc through here in the next couple of weeks. Dry out a little bit. I may cover those potatoes back up like that fella was saying. Okay guys, 35 I think the broccoli plants. One of them is doesn't have a bud. That's a pretty good deal. Put a little 10-10-10 on the garlic. Guys, that is some pretty garlic up through there. She looks like she's really gonna make some big bulbs. I put some nitrogen on it a couple weeks ago. Figure we just give it a little more 10-10-10 and see what happens, and we might dose it off with some nitrogen later on. Peach tree's blooming. The pear trees is blooming. Hopefully they make it. I'm a little bit worried about it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right guys, we're back at the shed. Broccoli's planted, potatoes are planted, a little bit of fertilizer put out. And yes, it's not under the soil. I've never really, I do put fertilizer out with an injection foot, but I really don't have a choice right now. So we'll just sprinkle it a little bit now to have something there. So when it's sprouting and stuff. So I've had this RV now for about, I guess it's getting on about 3 years maybe. And it came with 2 white tanks. And I'd always when they need to be refilled, I take them off and go get them refilled, because, you know, I'm thinking those are the factory tanks. And I was thinking today, I was like, well, I got to get by and get these things refilled. And I said, you know, it's not like I got some USA made IH specials on here. I told Will's here, by the way. Say hey to Will. I told Will got here, and he no sooner got out of his Dakota. I said, Will, run get me, swap out these 2 tanks for some tanks for this RV. I know you may get a little more fuel if you go by Tractor Supply and fill it up. They may fill it up a little more. But as far as the tank itself, I don't think it's nothing special about the ones I had that came with the RV. I'm sure they were made in China for sure. And so bring another one around here, Will. So we just did the swap on them, is what we end up doing. They've been out since plow day. Poor Nikki and Allison, who does the shirts and hats and t-shirts and things like that, they stayed in the RV after plow day, and they ran out of fuel one night, and I guess it got pretty cold in here. Well, I might figure out why I had those factory ones. Oh, maybe it goes in here. That's what it is, son. Let's try getting all the way. Look at there. Perfect. All right, gives us a place to put this. I'll hook that up in a second. All right, put the wing nut on there. And we're back in business. Leno's cooking a specialty once a week or so. Well, that may be backwards threads, so be careful. Backwards threads means you go counterclockwise. It is backwards threads. Most fuel tanks are like this, just so you know. So we'll leave that one closed. We'll crack this one. All right, we got fuel again, Will. We can make it. Make sure she's good and snug here. So anyway, Leno makes me breakfast sometimes, guys, for dinner, because I asked her to. Believe me, that wouldn't be her first choice. She's not that crazy over doing that, but she is tonight. So let's go in and see what she's got, and we'll finish this video up. We're in, and Leno made me my dinner that I like, which she doesn't really like making it for me because she says it's unhealthy, but I think it's very healthy for you. We got our bacon and eggs for dinner. Hope you enjoyed the planting and all the what else went on today. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's see, verse of the video, I think it's out of Matthew. It's I will give to thee. Now, I may not be exactly perfect, guys, so look it up if I'm not, but I will give to thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, whatever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. It's first of the video. God bless you. We'll see you.